From encouraging diets that have caused people to die, to threatening to kill people, to carrying around dead animals, there have been tons of creators in the veganverse that have caused a fuck ton of havoc. Now, as we know, veganism is the practice of refraining from anything that comes from animals. Even though it feels like it was created recently, veganism as a whole has actually existed for thousands of years. And for a long time, it's always been associated with extreme shit. And that's because a lot of the mainstream has showcased these vegans as very crazy people that do anything for their cause. But it's important to put out that veganism as a whole is not bad. There's debates about how it affects your body in terms of health, but overall it can be a healthy diet if you get your proper nutrition. Today we're going to look at some of the craziest and most extreme vegans that have really given the movement a bad name. So let's cut the bullshit and get right into it. So first we'll start off with Freely the Banana Girl, an influencer who has contributed a lot to eating disorders. Now Freely developed an audience by criticizing other creators for their eating decisions. The video that made her blow up was Why Has Jenna Marbles Gained Weight, which got over 3 million views. Now in the video she argues that Jenna gained weight because she chose to not go vegan anymore.
Okay, she's not fat by any means, but she is definitely gaining weight. So why is she? Because she has gone off her predominantly vegan plan.
Because these videos did so well, she would make more and more videos calling out other creators like Zoella, Gabby Hanna, Shane Dawson, and more. She says that she was trying to stop the spread of misinformation.
I'm definitely going to keep doing the everything wrong with such and such as diet because there is so much misinformation on YouTube and it needs to be counteracted.
Well, the problem was that it was less critical and more bullying. She claimed that she was a feminist creator, but she was actually extremely toxic. She would quite literally have her fans harass any of the creators that she called out. And while you can't control what your viewers do, she did encourage it.
Firstly, I just want to say thank you to you little fruit bats who fly around YouTube, spreading the fruit seeds, tagging me in posts, trying to help others, coming back to me and letting me know who you feel.
And on top of this, she constantly body shamed other influencers as well. She also had some wild opinions, like how there were more deaths on 9/11 because obese people were blocking the doors. One of her worst ones was when teenage creator Talia Castellano passed away, because Freely claims that she would have survived if instead of getting chemotherapy, she switched to a vegan diet. This made her develop a very controversial persona. But regardless, she still collaborated with giant YouTubers like Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson, Trisha Paytas, and more. And this was during the wild 2015 to 2016 era of YouTube. Her Jenna Marbles podcast appearance got extreme backlash. But the real danger from Freely was the diet that she promoted. She claimed herself as a frugivore, which means that you only eat fruit. This is a big part of her brand and her lifestyle. Freely constantly boasted about this diet, claiming that she lost 40 pounds in a span of 30 days. Problem is that this diet is very unhealthy. If you only eat fruit, you lack a lot of the essential nutrients that you need, like amino acids, fats, calcium, iodine, iron, and omega-3 fatty acids. And there's also not a lot of calories in that, and you kind of need calories to function. So the diet that she had quite literally encourages eating disorders. One vegan influencer, Xana Samsonova, quite literally died from an all-fruit diet, and that was because of the starvation and the malnutrition she suffered. And while Freely is not directly related to this case from what I know, she definitely encourages a diet that does cause things like this. And if this wasn't bad enough, ironically, one of her books actually caused people to gain weight. Her book, Raw Till 4, was designed to help people gain weight, but a lot of people actually revealed that it did the opposite. Now, for those that don't know, Raw Till 4 is a vegan diet where you only eat uncooked food until 4 p.m. and then after you have a cooked meal.
So this is what I looked like while I was eating Raw Till 4. And this is what I look like now.
So she is deceptive in multiple ways and has definitely contributed to a lot of unhealthy lifestyles. But Freely wasn't on this crazy train alone. She was actually doing it a lot with her boyfriend and fellow vegan influencer Durian Ryder. Just like Freely, he is very big on veganism. Durian has also had his own controversy, like claiming that he had his own crazy physique from going vegan when in reality he actually did use steroids.
Going into your muscle, it definitely does hurt for a couple of days. My left arm, I can feel it's like I got kicked in the arm. Another question was, where is testosterone derived from? It's soy-based.
Together, they have caused quite a lot of chaos. For one, they encourage people to get vasectomies so that they don't continue to populate the planet.
So what I propose is that men get vasectomies. All men have to get vasectomies.
If I was in power, This is my little power trip, is I would have every male have a vasectomy on the planet.
One of their most controversial events was when they hosted the Thai Fruit Festival, which is a festival for vegans. One of the people who was renting out a house for festival attendees quite literally admitted to R-wording some of the people that were staying in the house and then backtracked on it. This in its own mind caused a lot of controversy for obvious reasons. But when this very serious accusation came out, their main response was, "We don't want any part of this drama."
People focus on shit and drama and, you know, be a victim, poor me, that sort of vibe, and I don't want to be around people like that.
I know Annie and Jill love drama. They love creating drama. They love attention. That's fine, girls, but if it's at my event, I'm gonna call out a bit.
It was revealed that a year later, there was a different man who was pretending to be vegan said he can gain the trust of the women, which is pretty creepy.
This happened at our festival last year, and I'm really sorry this happened. I'm gonna read this out. I'm sorry this is gonna be a super long message. I read Harley's post, and I was super shocked. I didn't tell anyone about my experience with him. This guy's name is Jack.
1 year later, when the festival was happening again, Durian publicly accused another creator, Ezel Mazad, of messaging an underage girl and trying to meet up with her, although he had no actual proof. I can't confirm 100% yet if this is true, but this POS is allegedly in CM and asking girls for money and I assume probably sex, etc. If you see him in town or know what hotel or apartment number he is staying in, then please tell me. But the thing was, the guy did not do that at all. Ezel did email a girl that was 17 years old, but he only messaged her because she took the raw till 4 diet and gained weight because of it. Ezel was simply trying to ask her about the diet, not trying to meet up with her. It's ironic because Durian would also meet up with that girl. Not in that way, but it's pretty hypocritical how he did it. Even more ironically, Durian himself was accused of sexual assault from a different woman when him and Freely were on a break. This woman went to Durian's hotel to work on some artwork and he kissed her without her consent, after she said no multiple times. And then the next day made more unwanted advances.
He kissed me anyway and then started to ask for more. I ended up making excuses. I had a friend in my apartment that I had to get back to. I was on my period. I was uncomfortable with how close it was to the breakup with Freely, but he didn't listen to my excuses and he continued to ask me for more.
And when this girl told Freely about it, she simply ignored it. But perhaps one of the worst things that Durian did was accuse a YouTuber of faking cancer. The YouTuber that they accused was Jen Journey, a fellow vegan who was suffering from breast cancer. She no longer had the money to support her treatment, so she went on YouTube to ask for donations as it was literally her last resort.
Less than 2.5 years after my mother passed away, I found a golf ball sized lump in my left breast. It has grown and taken over my entire breast at this point. This is my last hope. And I really need more help.
And the video was successful in helping get some people to donate money to her. But then, Durian, with no proof, simply claimed that this woman was faking it all for money and attention. His reason being that he saw evil in her eyes, which I have no fucking idea what that means.
In my honest opinion, it's a scam. I feel this person's using makeup or black salve on their body and asking for money. They look like a bit of a smack addict, a bit of a druggie, and in my honest opinion, it's a scam. They're saying, oh, I've got 25,000, I need 100,000, and it just seems really wrong to me. $100,000? Or whatever they're asking for, just a scammer. In my opinion, I'm open to being proven wrong, but that's my opinion. I feel it's a scam. Just look in that person's eyes, it's just, I see darkness, I see scammer.
Unfortunately, this was effective in people actually agreeing with Durian and not supporting her anymore and not giving her any more donations. Jen tried to prove that she actually did have cancer by showing the paperwork.
So here is the original biopsy, which was done in May of 2015. Here you go. Here's my name, Jennifer Felici. Here's my face. Da da da. I'm holding this. This is real.
But this didn't work, and she no longer had the money to support her treatment, and she eventually passed away from the cancer. Durian never apologized and instead posted this excuse of a video.
No one's coming here to motherfucking save you. No one's coming here to save you. I'm not coming here to save you. Might give you some great advice, but I don't know you personally. I'll probably never ever meet you. What I can do is give you some advice. The best one is, no one's coming to save you. You're pretty much on your mother No.
Thankfully, Freely and Durian would break up in 2016 during the heights of their insanity. They both accused each other nonstop of cheating, manipulation, abuse, etc. And another girl would also accuse Durian of sexual assault afterwards too. And at this time, they gained the reputation for being the worst vegan couple ever, but not the worst vegan creator, because that belonged to Vegan Gains at the time. Real name Richard, during the edgier days of YouTube, he made a pretty big name for himself as a vegan fitness influencer. He always preached about how it's possible to get gains without having to eat animals for protein. And most importantly, he wanted to call out influencers that were promoting fake supplements and trying to sell bullshit to their fans. Both pretty noble causes. But the problem was, he would slowly get more and more psychopathic. Initially, he would develop a genuine audience with his reckless shit-talking.
And you had surgery for heart disease, and you're dumb enough to keep eating foods that cause heart disease? This may surprise the shit out of you, but plants have protein too, and unlike your protein supplements, plants don't lie about their protein content, so say whatever the fuck you want about vegetarians and vegans, let's see how hard you can punch when you die of a fucking heart attack.
His series Worst of the Fitness Industry, where he would criticize other fitness influencers, actually got him a pretty big audience and got him over 50,000 subscribers. This would cause him to get into some beefs with other fitness guys and even some in-person confrontations. And he would also get some bittersweet growth when Grade A Underway called him out for his hypocrisy. Back then, Grade A Underway was kind of like the Kendrick Lamar when it came to dissing other YouTubers. If this guy made a video on you, you were kind of fucked. And for Vegan Gains, he points out quite a lot of his hypocrisy. He specifically accused how Richard would call out non-vegan influencers for using steroids, but then would turn a blind eye to vegan influencers who were clearly using steroids.
One thing I like about him is that the kid's a fucking steroid expert. He's got the sixth sense, man. He can spot a steroid user a mile off. Vince Del Monte of being a steroid user, right? He's not big at all. Like, I would never look at this skinny shit and go, oh, this guy's on steroids. But anyways, okay, so he says that Vince is on steroids, right? So if Vince is on steroids, how is vegan heavyweight bodybuilder Ryan Nelson, he's the guy on the left, right? How is he not on steroids? Ryan's like twice Vince's size. If Vince is on steroids, surely Ryan's on steroids, but no, Ryan still isn't accused of jack shit, which I can only presume is because Ryan's a vegan and he gets favoritism.
Steroids is a very, very serious issue in the fitness industry, so to not really include all of that and be so biased was a pretty big problem. Grade A's video got nearly 8 million views, which did give Richard quite a lot of hate, but also quite a lot of growth because he was still a smallish channel. Over time, Richard's videos got quite more and more aggressive. A lot of this was speculated to be an act. I mean, it was YouTube in 2016, so the crazier you were, the better.
I'll be dead fucking serious. I'm a sadist. I enjoy hurting people. When I just beat the ever-living shit out of somebody, I get a warm, tingly feeling inside like I'm being loved. Make some vegan gains and be nice to animals or I'll kill you. So the only use I can see getting out of you is cutting your fucking skin off and turning you into my new fucking wallet! I fucking hate children. They literally make me sick. When I see babies in a commercial, I start to gag and almost throw up, and I have to look away and mute it. And when I see babies in a stroller, especially when they're crying, I just want to put my foot through the fucking thing and step on it until it's nothing but blood and pulp on the fucking pavement!
He himself even kind of made fun of this a little bit.
So, it's a great opportunity to meet me, and don't be shy, I say hi and talk to everyone.
Hey, vegan gains, vegan gains!
Told you to fuck off! So it's a good opportunity to try and kill me, so if you think you have the fucking guts, come to the fucking Toronto Veg Fest!
But then some of his actions would show some very genuine sociopathic tendencies. When his 82-year-old grandpa passed away, he immediately blamed it on the fact that he was not vegan, and even tried to film it for a video. My grandfather just had a heart attack, seizure, or stroke. I'm not sure exactly what yet. He's 82, and there's a very likely chance he's going to die. This is the price you pay for a bad diet, and you can expect to see a video on this very soon. I'm going to warn you all ahead of time, it will be graphic.
And I just got back from the funeral thing that we had. It wasn't exactly a funeral, but a bunch of family got together and I was dragged to it. But anyway, I was planning on showing you guys footage of my grandfather actually having the heart attack. As soon as the paramedics got to the house, I took out my camera and started filming. But, a bunch of people in my family, my mom, my grandmother, uncles, shit like that, they threw a big fucking fit about me showing that footage on YouTube. they're perfectly fucking fine with eating foods that cause fucking heart disease and make people actually die of fucking heart attacks. But when it comes to actually showing people what happens when they eat these foods, that's just too much. So
the fact that he wanted to film his grandpa's death just to prove some sort of point that honestly doesn't even actually prove anything really just goes to show how crazy he really was low-key. He would get a lot of criticism from other YouTubers, including Repzion.
Who the fuck thinks this way? This is one of the most deplorable... I can't even fathom this type of thinking.
In response to this, Richard literally went on a rant about how he wanted to kill Repzion and even flashed a knife live on stream.
Repzion's a little fucking bitch. If I had the opportunity, I'd kill him. Slit his fucking throat with this knife. Really like to use this knife on him. Like, he really does deserve to die. Like, he's such a smug little bitch. I'd love to just slide a knife right across his throat and just watch him, like, just look all scared when, you know, he's just dying.
Maybe this could be played off as some sort of act or a joke, but honestly, it still seemed really weird how he did it. Richard was a believer that standing by and letting animals get killed was basically the same as killing them yourself. He cared so much about animals and their right to live that he was literally willing to kill people for it. So empathetic, right? This empathy was really shown when Richard had beef with another fitness influencer, Furious Pete. Furious Pete was a very heavy meat eater and also was diagnosed with cancer around this time. Richard constantly said that he got cancer because of the fact that he was eating so much meat, which caused a little bit of a back and forth between them. At one point, Richard said that he straight just deserves to die. And at this point, fans saw that Richard was going too far. Act or no act, this was crossing the line. And he was only getting edgy and edgier because honestly, it was working. He would even get into another beef that further boosted his channel with Leafy, the king of edgy YouTube. Richard had such a bad reputation that he actually got arrested twice. The first time for his statement, "Be nice to animals or I'll kill you," and the second time when he accidentally bought leather gloves and then made a video where the thumbnail was him putting a BB gun in his mouth to replicate a real gun. I had to censor the thumbnail, but you get the idea. And he was arrested for psychological evaluation because they thought the gun was real. But eventually, the shock value only lasted so long, and the adpocalypse came in, which also definitely hurt his revenue. His views went down, and the channel was even banned at one point. His last piece of relevancy was when he did a back and forth with Penguin Zero. Richard called him out for being hypocritical when he accused a mukbanger of torturing animals live, but also the fact that he was actually making sausages. He feels that this was hypocritical because if he really cared about animals and their well-being, then he wouldn't be making such a video like that.
I'm not a vegan and you don't need to be to find the she does cruel and just downright ridiculous and just disgusting. Her name is So Young, and what she does on her channel is she buys sea creatures alive and then kills them in the slowest, most inhumane ways possible because she likes to watch them squirm around and put Facebook royalty-free music behind it as a joke. Yeah, they're actually alive. It's not like some kind of post-mortem response or anything, and even in the title she makes it well known the octopus are alive and that she's eating them alive. That's the whole draw of the video. If you watch her channel, you watch this content and support it, you suck. You, like, objectively, you're a piece of and you have taste. I guarantee I could find 1,000 scientific reports to corroborate that. It's a fact. You suck. And she is absolutely terrible. I don't even know how this content is allowed on YouTube. This absolutely falls under animal cruelty, by all definitions.
So it seems that Penguin is unaware of this, but sausage casings, at least natural sausage casings like the ones he's using, are in fact made out of animal intestines. And if you look at the package, hog sausage casings, as the name implies, these sausage casings are made out of pig intestines. So I find it interesting that Penguin will complain about So Young abusing, torturing, and murdering these sentient animals, these very intelligent animals, by the way, like octopi and squid, but he's totally fine with abusing, torturing, and murdering other very intelligent animals, you know, in the meat industry.
But this video was actually a lot more calm than his usual content, and when Penguin Zero responded to him, he actually praised him quite a lot for that, but also still pointed out why he was wrong.
I want to say right away, I actually think his video is pretty level-headed, at least compared to what I remember him for, but I want to focus on the points he himself is making. So this one here, I am just as bad if not worse than So Young because I'm paying someone to do what she does on camera. But that's not it either, like, you're totally fucking wrong. I'm not paying someone to torture animals. What people who eat meat are under the impression of, they're paying someone to humanely provide that food for them, given the circumstances, as humane as it can possibly be. If I found out the place I'm getting my meat from has a fucking YouTube channel where they're finger blasting cow carcasses and using chicken corpses as baseball bats, I'll stop buying from it, obviously. No one is paying for these animals to be paraded around on YouTube and tortured, have salt poured on their corpse so they wiggle around and scream. No one's paying for that.
But if we are going to talk about crazy vegans, then there's no way that I can leave out the vegan teacher, who is easily not just one of the most hated vegan creators, but one of the most hated creators, period. This is someone you most likely know whether you like it or not. Unlike a lot of other vegans, she actually chose this lifestyle pretty late in life, not actually becoming a vegan until 52 years old. It was 2 years after this choice that she then made vegan content. Originally, her stuff was some pretty wholesome songs and stuff. It wasn't good, but it wasn't controversial.
Carrots and hummus, they go together like meat and my carrots.
In fact, what actually made her go viral was a song that she made about McDonald's outside of their restaurant.
3, 2, 1, sing! Eating animals is wrong, McDonald's. Hurting animals is wrong, McDonald's. Share this song and change your entire menu to be vegan from now on.
And this video would mostly go viral because of the fact that it was cringe, not because it inspired people to go vegan. But pretty soon after this, that vegan would change her content to be quite aggressive. The first sign was when she made a video claiming that she no longer was going to be an organ donor because she didn't want meat eaters to get her organs.
Hi everyone. Before becoming a teacher, a school teacher, I worked as a nurse for 25 years. And I always talked about the importance of signing our organ donor cards. But this year, for the first time in my life, I have decided not to sign it. And here's why. I realize how despicable society is, how many evil people are out there, especially since coming to TikTok, even more so. And I've decided that there's no way on earth that I want any of you to ever get my organs if I die. The only people I would ever want would be vegan animal rights activists, because I will give those organs to those people and I know they will not be murdering animals to put into that body that would have been saved. The rest of you will just continue to live and keep murdering animals. So I just wanted to let you know that it's really disappointing, but it's come to this.
And her content would then start to get more into the reign of shock value. She made tons of remarks that were racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic. For one, she would compare the slaughter of animals to the Holocaust, basically saying that they were the same. They're not.
The animal holocaust going on right now is the worst holocaust in history.
She claims that coming out as vegan is completely selfless, while coming out as LGBTQ+ is selfish. It's not.
Coming out as a vegan animal rights activist, as somebody who cares beyond themselves, is much more special than it is to come out as a member of the LGBTQ community. Coming out as a member of the LGBTQ community is an entirely selfish act. It's talking about you only. It's not talking about the things that you're going to do to better the world. Coming out as an animal rights activist is talking about the animals, others, not just you. In fact, it is a completely unselfish thing to do.
She also made a song called I Can't Breathe, which were the final words of George Floyd while he was dying, and made it into a song about veganism. It's bad enough the song was awful, but this was straight up disrespectful. Keep in mind, this was in 2020 during the height of the BLM movement, but then her content straight up just became predatory. During the end of 2020, YouTuber Tommy Innit made a video joking about how he was surrounded by a bunch of women.
Hello TikTok. I'm at college and surrounded by women.
That vegan teacher responded with the video claiming that he should get a vegan girlfriend, which is kinda weird to say as a 50-year-old.
Don't be scared, Tommy. Just follow that meat teacher, Miss Tofu. She'll help you find a nice vegan girl who will teach you what to do.
But then it got even weirder when she made this video, which had a very strange sexual undertone.
Hello TikTok, I got 2 more golden play buttons today that I'm going to show to girls if they come round. Because they do.
Tommy, the nice vegan girls don't want to see your buttons. But if you want them to play with your buttons, you're gonna have to show them your fruits and your vegetables.
I mean, that's a really fucking weird thing to say to a 16-year-old boy, is it not? This was definitely the final line for a lot of people. What made it even worse was when she made this super out-of-pocket video to George Not Found, essentially just attacking him for nothing.
Hello TikTok, I'm out in the snow with my Christmas hat on, and I'm looking for some likes. Give me some likes, please.
Am I missing something? You want likes for walking in the snow? How about you stop paying for the rape, torture, and murder of innocent animals and be vegan?
Eventually, she would get banned in 2021 off of TikTok, and anytime she tried to make a new account, it would just get banned too. But did this stop her? Not even close. She then would focus completely on YouTube. Less than a month later, she would post the video, "Are You a Racist?" on her channel. She tells an acrostic poem about how we should ban cruelty instead of banning bad words, and then literally goes to reveal the hard R.
Does this girl seem to you like she might be naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary, and radiant? She looks like she could be that to me.
And while maybe this message was pretty cool, it had probably the worst delivery ever. At one point, she straight up said the N-word on a live stream.
Number one, you mean the words nigger and oh, did I just, oh my god, my video's going to get banned. Oh no, I actually said the N-word.
From here on out, she would only get more and more controversial. She would go after giant creators and create non-stop beefs. She went after Mr. Beast with the video at Mr. Beast. No amount of good you do for the world can undo the damage you are causing, which is a fucking wild title. In the video, she claims that he supports kidnapping because he shows poutine, and because poutine has cheese and cheese has milk, which comes from cows, and apparently cows' babies get kidnapped or something.
Poutine with cheese on it? No. Cheese comes from milk, which is stolen from mothers after their babies were taken from them. Do you think that kidnapping is okay, Mr. Beast? Kidnapping babies and stealing from them? Do you think that stealing is okay?
This argument made no sense, and I don't even know if she believes it herself, but regardless, it got over 700,000 views. So, it worked. And she kept on making weirder and weirder videos. Like, Mr. Beast pretends to be generous, but pays for rape, torture, kidnapping, and murder. Like, what even are these? And the worst thing she did was make another god-awful song.
Why promote so much suffering to so many youths? Why not be as brave as the others who changed when they learned the truth?
One of her most infamous feuds was with Gordon Ramsay, actually, because she accused him of not making vegan food, and also making another song about him.
Eating animals is wrong, Gordon Ramsay. Hurting animals is wrong, Gordon Ramsay. Share this song, and if you call me a donut, that's fine.
Vegan
as long
donut.
as you're vegan from now on.
Gordon would actually duet her video to troll her, and this sparked a giant fire from that vegan teacher. She made a 27-minute video on Gordon that was titled, "Get This, How Gordon Ramsay is Like Hitler and How That Makes Me Cry." Just like with Mr. Beast, she calls Gordon the devil and says that he likes to pay for the kidnapping, rape, and torture of animals.
Hello, students. Today we're going to talk about the devil. The devil's name is Gordon Ramsay. Now you might look at him, Gordon Ramsay, and say to yourself, well, he seems like a nice guy. He's able to crack some jokes. His family look healthy and happy. They're always seen joking around, and there's always happy music. What's really going on?
She also makes a diss song towards him, which I'm not gonna play because I think we've heard enough of her music at this point. She would literally have a breakdown in another video too. And this was all over just one TikTok that he made on her. He never responded to this, but other YouTubers that she criticized like SSS Sniper Wolf and Call Me Chris would make their own respective responses that got nearly 30 million views. So if anything, that vegan teacher was just simply helping other creators. Making a video on that vegan teacher was an easy way to get views back then. Like seriously, it could create generational wealth from just one video. In a desperation for views and relevancy, she would call out almost any creator on YouTube for not being vegan in any way possible. Any video that was made on her, and I mean like any video that was made on her, she would respond to. Like she'll probably respond to this one. And a lot of people deem her as the final boss of crazy vegans, but she's actually not the craziest one at all. She's just simply the most famous one. The craziest one easily is Tash Peterson, aka Vegan Booty. Vegan Booty is perhaps the most extreme of the extremes when it comes to public shenanigans and stunts for veganism. Originally on her channel, she posted wholesome, innocent videos surfing on the beaches of Australia, but this all changed in 2019 when she posted her very first vegan video protesting against the Million Paws Walk. This was a fundraiser that was designed to raise money for animals in need. Something that you think a vegan would support, right? Well, in her mind, this was evil because it was showing love to dogs while still eating and consuming other animals like cows. Hypocritically, the literal video that she posted before this one, she literally owns a dog that is pulling her on a leash on her skateboard, which I'm pretty sure constitutes as abuse in some sort of way. She would then start to do other stunts like wearing a cow onesie in the supermarket dairy aisle while blasting animal noises, which weren't really that bad, just kind of annoying. This would get her banned from several grocery stores and get her in the newspaper, which she was kind of proud of. She would make her very first headline though when she ran into the middle of a stadium with a flag that says "Right to Rescue." She would get fined $20,000 for this and was banned from that stadium for 3 years. But to her, this was a success. This was an opportunity to be a powerful voice for animals with a big audience and make them listen to us. This only further fueled her because now real media sites were giving her genuine attention. So she needed to up the intensity. She would do her next stunt by dressing up as a pig covered in blood in a butcher shop selling human meat, which again got her more media attention and got her kicked out. And it actually would also lead to her getting her first ever viral video. Angry butcher drags vegan out of supermarket. Despite getting over 17,000 dislikes, the video got nearly 400,000 views, which to her was a success. Immediately she gained a very negative online reputation and was deemed as that vegan teacher's daughter. And she was actually noticed by the original and commented on her to support her, and she proudly wore that title.
What do you mean? Of course that vegan teacher is my mum. We may live on opposite sides of the world, but we'll always be forever mother and daughter and forever vegan. Now eat your fucking vegetables!
But this was simply only the beginning of her reign. Her next move would be go topless in various butcher shops painted as a cow, and she would do this in front of kids. She did this so many times, and to give her credit, it also got her a ton of views. Her most popular video at the time was where she went topless in public, getting over 400,000 views. She even went live with that vegan teacher and unfortunately got her to do the very same thing to promote veganism.
There goes my chances at monetization.
Eventually though, she would get a disorderly fine for one of her videos and had to go to court for it.
And this has resulted in my disorderly fine, which I decided to appeal, and I'll be pleading not guilty in court because I don't believe that I was acting disorderly.
And just like that vegan teacher, she also compares animal slaughter to the Holocaust.
Holocaust is the mass extermination of more than 6 million Jewish people.
Well, it's just a factual statement. If you look at the definition of a Holocaust, it is slaughter or destruction on a mass scale. Multiple Holocausts have occurred throughout human history, and non-human animals can be subjected to the same atrocities that humans can. In fact, it's the largest Holocaust in history, with 3 trillion individuals brutally murdered every year for human food consumption.
She would get arrested again, but this time for disturbing a peaceful children's event. She crashed an event where 2 horses were dressed like unicorns, claiming that it was animal abuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, is a blatant act of animal abuse and animal cruelty. Pigs are subjected to slavery. If you were in their position, would you want to be paraded around like an object? These innocent beings are no different to our beloved dogs and cats.
They look like they're under so much stress.
They would all be appalled. This is slavery at its finest.
They weren't, they were being well taken care of. Eventually the police would escort her and arrest her. The horse owner gave her a restraining order which forced her to go to court again.
The owner of the business that I disrupted, called Ponies for All Occasions, has enforced a restraining order upon me, and therefore I will be disputing it at court. The system is trying to silence me. The system is trying to silence animal rights activists for speaking up about animal oppression and exploitation.
With money being low, she would get a little desperate and actually make an OnlyFans to get some cash. Oddly enough, this actually did sell pretty well and made her quite a lot of money, but she still wanted to go harder on the veganism. So she would go into a KFC covered in blood, pour fake blood on the ground, and blast the sounds of dying animals, and also showing a TV of graphic details of them being slaughtered. This stunt once again had the police get involved to escort her out. At this point, the police were all too familiar with her content, and they gave her a barring notice that banned her from any location that served alcohol.
Been issued with another barring notice. So what this barring notice means is that I'm banned from every single premises that sells liquor. So that's restaurants that serve alcohol, that's obviously nightclubs, the liquor store, you know, anything that sells alcohol I'm not allowed into, otherwise I'll be charged for trespass.
But of course, this did not stop her, and she would still do extreme shit like bring a dead lamb into Kohl's, which also is pretty hypocritical because she's using the dead body of an animal as a prop. Eventually, she would just outright get banned from Western Australia because they had enough of her crap.
The Australian police have banned me from entering into my own city. If I choose to fly home, I could face a 1-year imprisonment.
And because she kept on going with the stunts, the anti-terrorism police would go after her as well.
So just 2 days ago on Friday, I had the State Security Investigation Group, the anti-terrorism police, knocking on my door, and they've issued me with a charge for disorderly behaviour.
She felt like she was being repressed from her freedom of speech, but in reality, she was just being annoying. Her message was definitely not the bad thing, it was the delivery of it. And she just kept on doing these stunts non-stop no matter what happened. The one thing you have to give her credit for is dedication. One of her most outrageous events yet was when she ruined the career of celebrity chef John Mountain. John was the owner of 5 restaurants and actually got into a feud with the vegan community when a vegan customer complained to him that he didn't really have any vegan options. John respectfully told the vegan he should go eat somewhere that was more vegan friendly and outright banned every single vegan from his restaurant. Granted, banning all vegans from your restaurant from one incident is a little unnecessary, I will say that. But this also started a feud specifically with Tash. Just like before, she would also protest in his restaurant blasting animal noises. She also did this multiple times on end, and eventually it drove John to the point where he actually got physical with her. This gave him quite a lot of mixed publicity because it did cause the end of his marriage, but at the same time, it also tripled his revenue.
Is getting bigger, stronger, and more verbal for me. So far as my business is concerned, I've trebled my income. I'm now, in her words, having to murder more animals because of their actions.
You're under a lot of pressure. You're in the limelight. You're under attack in some ways. How are you doing?
Thanks. Personally,
it's not easy.
Yeah. I lost my partner because of this. I lost, you know, a relationship that I thought I was going to marry this woman, and she just couldn't handle the amount of attention. She's a very private person, and yeah, thanks vegans. You're barred for life, definitely. Whenever I open any other business, now I'm going to start opening steak restaurants just to piss you off.
Well, I'm sorry to see that you've gone through so much, and thank you for coming on the show and talking to us, and we do wish you all the best. Thanks, John.
He himself would issue a restraining order against Tash and sue her. But this actually wasn't the first time that she was sued. A lot of her actions were finally starting to catch up to her. In 2021, she stormed into a vet clinic and accused them of abusing animals and keeping them captive, which literally is the opposite of what vets do when you really think about it. She literally had no proof but posted a video of her accusing them of abusing animals on her Facebook page.
That eat your own patients, are you?
Yeah, I do eat meat, but I don't eat dogs and I don't eat cats, and I don't appreciate you pushing your agenda on my personal...
I don't appreciate you enslaving animals and forcing them into murder factories. It is. What if they were dogs?
I have a dog in a cage out the back at the moment receiving treatment. Am I enslaving it?
She and her boyfriend who filmed the video were successfully sued, and they had to pay $280,000 in damages. It was also revealed that Tash actually was committing quite a lot of tax fraud. She made over $400,000 but only reported $70 grand. I guess the OnlyFans was paying really, really well. This is what actually forced Tash to actually slow down on her shenanigans. Reluctantly, she stopped disruptive protesting and did more street interviews, and also did a lot more reaction/commentary videos. As of May 2025, she officially announced that she was bankrupt.
We are officially bankrupt and our passports are being taken away from us.
That's right, and this came as a result for a defamation trial that we were unsuccessful in, and we now owe over $500,000 to a vet clinic.
And on top of that, our personal accounts have been wiped, which means we have no money for everyday living expenses.
Which honestly is completely deserved. The thing is, veganism as a whole is not bad at all. Actually, it's quite the opposite depending on how you see it. Veganism is a very noble movement that actually encourages to prevent the cruel slaughter of animals and help keep the earth clean. There are lots, and I mean lots, of amazing vegan influencers out there. Earthling Ed, Nimai Delgado, Fig Green Mind, and more. But no matter how good your cause is, once you start being disruptive to people and start acting like a real piece of shit, it does not matter what you are supporting because you make it look bad. Because all of the influencers from this video have only further encouraged people to eat meat and to avoid being a vegan.